welcome to All Growth Podcast. This is your host, Alvaro Gamboa. Thank you again so much, everyone, for coming through and enjoying this space and time with us while we try to educate, we try to converse, we try to discuss different types of topics that are all aimed towards personal, professional, community growth. I think that's important that we have these conversations on growth and what areas that we need to grow in and what things we need to understand more. Today's topic is something that's very near and dear to my heart, and I'm glad we're talking about it today. The fact of the matter is it's something that needs to be talked about because it's all around us every day. Today's episode is all love. All love, man. It's the energy. It's all around us, man. Love it's a beautiful thing, is it not? Love is something that is to be cherished, is to be adored. There are people in this world that love the idea of love, not just loving another person, but what love is. Love is to a lot of things to a lot of people. That's why today we decided to go ahead and break it down. Come on in, enjoy yourselves, unwind, and let's discuss love. This is All Growth. So I think now is a perfect time to stop on over to the Growth Garden and give a huge shout out to today's episode sponsor. For those that are looking into their beard care needs, for those men that are interested in getting their grooming on, I highly recommend checking out Posh Face's Blueprint Beard Kit. Their beard kit has gotten me right, man. I'm telling you, man, there's no more patches in the beard, man. Everything's luscious, everything's evened out, and it's all thanks to natural plant essential oils, man. These beautiful essential oils, they're natural plant extracts, which is all what Posh Faces uses, the only thing Posh Faces uses. They're combinations and mixtures of essential oils and your Blueprint beard oils in order to help stimulate growth in your beard. So with your purchase of a Blueprint beard kit, you have your choice of 2 essential beard oils, either cedarwood and sandalwood beard oil or lavender and sage beard oil. And along with that, it's going to come with a Blueprint beard pomade and a Blueprint beard wax in order to keep your beard growing, firm, and in control as well. Now, for those that have not been into the grooming game, I have to tell you, man, you are lacking and slacking. You got to be able to take care of yourself, take care of how you look, to be able to take care of yourself, to show the world your best self. I'm a huge believer in when you see the world sees you. So why not let the world see your best self every day in every way? That includes your beard. So because we sponsored at Posh Faces, we have a special discount off. Head on over to poshfaces.com and use our promo code GROWTH, 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 for a 10% discount on your entire purchase. Give the gift that keeps on giving. Give the gift of self-care and self-love. Hey everyone, welcome to All Growth. Right now, let's try to plant some seeds into our episode topic for the day. Today we're discussing all love, so let's plant some seeds in order for us to understand love, in order for us to be able to discuss love in full, in context. A seed that was planted in me that I hope to plant in y'all, which is we have to love love. Love and loving love gives you a boost in your everyday life. When you love love, everything you do comes from love. Everywhere you go, everything you touch, it comes from a space of a loving space. And I think that's important that we start loving love because there's more peace that comes about when you love love. A seed that I want to plant for us is to define love, to be able to say what love is subjectively and then objectively as well. With love, first and foremost, in order to define love, we have to understand love is the highest form of energy. Love is this energetic force field around us and within us. We've been talking about energy as a whole, and we've been discussing masculine and feminine energy, and I decided, why not discuss love? It is the highest energy that one could have. The fact of the matter is that love is the highest form of energy because we're created from love, or at least I hope. I just pray that we're in love on the night that we're conceived, because love is a wonderful thing. When you're someone that was made with love in mind, love was mindfully put into you when you, as a youngin as well, when you had love poured into you, that changes your circumstances, that changes how you see the world, how you interact with the world, all from love. The thing about love that I love the most is that I am not the only person that loves love. Matter of fact, there are a group of people out there in this world that love love. Today, a seed that I want to plant in everyone's mind is that there are many forms of love. There are many different types of love. There are so many different types of love that we don't know all of them. And then on top of that, we can get them misunderstood, confused, mislabeled, misrepresented as well. Now that's a danger in the wrong hands. That's why I'm bringing about today the 8 different types of love according to the Greeks. Now, the Greeks, they're wonderful people, and they were the first to wax poetic about every topic, and one of the topics that being love. The Greeks defined love in every category, from the familiar to the sexual to the universal. And I want to go ahead and break it down for us today. First kind of love that we come about is this eros, which is an erotic love. So that's more of a sexual love. That's very passionate and desireful, lustful love. That could be misconstrued for lust, but however, there is a love in this lust, in eros. It's sort of connected to the spirituality of love, and sort of connected to the spirituality of love and lust, and being erotically filled with love. The second type of love is philia, is an affectionate love. Now, an affectionate love is friendly. It's not erotic as with eros or as with erotic love. This familiar, affectionate love is a love given out to friends, given out to close ones, given out to family, people that you could see yourself having friendships and connections with, as opposed to intimate relationships with, sexual relationships with. And that's philia. Recognize philia as this affectionate love of one another, of a close friend, of a confidant. The third kind of love would be storge, or familiar love. A familiar love goes out to friends as well. It's similar to philia. However, familiar love, storge, is very much so a platonic kind of love. It's similar to kinship. Storge is a love of a familiar love, of companionship, of childhood friendships. So you could connect storge with your childhood best buddies, your friends from the block, friends at school. This familiar love is more of a friendship, very playful love. Leading into the next kind of love, we're on a number 4 love. This is ludus. And ludus is a playful love. Now, ludus is a love of play. Ludus being playful love of playfulness, of joy, of exuberance, of excitement, of experiencing fun and play in the day-to-day. Childlike, youthful innocence, that naivete, almost that innocence, that excitement, and that passion for play, for fun, for life. Now, the fifth kind of love is very much so misunderstood. I think it's important we talk about it as well. It's mania. Now, mania, or an obsessive love as it's known, has been misconstrued. Is a sense of a bit of a darker kind of love, in the sense that it could lead to madness and obsessiveness almost. It could lead to, now, the fifth kind of love, mania, or obsessive love, is a dark kind of love. It could lead down dark paths if uncontrolled and unsupervised. Certain things come about when you obsess over and you desire and you lust for someone, such as codependency, enmeshment, things of that nature. So mania and this obsessive love is something that we have to look out for. It's funny that mania is the word that's brought up about an obsessive love, because when you love someone so much so they become manic, it can be argued that that's not love anymore. Now, the Greeks took that and said, well, let's discuss it as a love, because at one point there was a good kind of love there, right? This mania, like, it's very dangerous because it tends to not be reciprocated at the end of the day. When someone's obsessing over you, it's kind of hard to obsess over them as well. So there's a very clear separation of boundaries, I guess you would say, right? So mania is the fifth kind of love, and one of the darker kinds of love in Greek terminology. Now, the sixth kind of love is pragma, or an enduring love. Known as a love that has aged, it has matured, it has grown with time, it has grown through time. Pragma it's not a love that you can find. It's more a love that has to be made, has to be built. Pragma, this love of enduring love, has to be built with challenges, with obstacles, with things in the way that have allowed for this love to grow. This pragma, now, it is a aged love. It is a enduring love, a love with time on it. So it does require effort from both sides to be able to say, yo, like, I put in effort into this love. I put in time, blood, sweat, and tears into this love. I give of it what I can so that it can give me what it does in return. And it's very symbiotic, very relational, very reciprocal energy, very reciprocal type of love. The seventh kind of love that the Greeks have defined is this idea of self-love. This philautia, the self-love, is a love of self, a love of yourself, a self-obsession. It's a healthy relationship with self. However, with a lot of love, it could be misconstrued, it could be misguided, and this love could turn into an unhealthy vanity. Self-love, it's important to provide yourself all the things that you need for your benefit, for your care, for your nourishment, for your growth. to also cultivate a sense of compassion for yourself, the self-compassion, self-kindness, and develop systems that boost your self-esteem and your self-confidence. To be able to say that you love yourself is the ultimate goal in everyday life, and it is a wonderful feeling to have, which is why I recommend everyone get into loving yourself starting today. And the final kind of love in terms of the Greeks is my personal favorite kind of love, which is agape, which is a selfless love, which is a love of people. And this love of people, this love of everything around you, this unconditional love of others is a love that's lost in the world. This agape, this love of others, this selfless love brings people together, connects people together, and it provides warmth, comfort, security, protection, because it's love of all. If I love you, I end up loving myself. As a matter of fact, if I love myself, I'm able to love you even more. This idea of pouring from a full cup can come about. I happen to love agape because it has helped me in my life understand that, the more I lead with love, the more love comes back to me tenfold, as a matter of fact. So there you have it. Those are the 8 kinds of Greek loves. The final seed that I want to plant for us in today's episode is this idea of love and fear. The reason why I bring these up is that love and fear are the 2 emotions in the world. When you take everything down to its denominational root, there are only 2 emotions in this world. It's love and fear. You're not living in one, you're operating out of the other. It's important to say this because love is the absence of fear. Love is there when fear is not. And when fear enters, love leaves. When thinking about love and fear, you have to understand that we have tools available to us to be able to cultivate more love and rid ourselves of our fear. That's a seed that I want to plant with us today, as I want to share with you a breathing exercise that was passed on to me that has helped me in every situation possible. Whenever I feel a little anxious, I remind myself that that's fear speaking, fear of the future. Whenever I start to get depressed, I start to remind myself that that's fear of the past. And that lets me know that in either way, whenever I'm anxious or depressed, I'm not living in the present. I'm not being present in the moment with love. So in order to get back into the presence, this breathing exercise that was passed on to me is a cultivator of that love in presence. This breathing exercise uses our breath to help us understand the foundational emotions in this world with our. So when we're inhaling, I want us to think of inhaling love, inhaling beauty, inhaling peace, gratitude, acceptance. When we inhale love, that's all you're inhaling is this love. You're cultivating more love within yourself from the universe. When you breathe in love, you're breathing love from the universe that's being poured into you. Take that time to breathe in love for yourself and have love fill every part of your body. And then the second part of this breathing exercise is the exhalation. Now, when you exhale, you're removing things from your body. You're removing carbon monoxide from your body. We take it a step further by saying when you breathe out and you exhale, you breathe in love, you breathe in prosperity, abundance, wealth, and you breathe out fear. You're breathing out fear. You're breathing out anxiety. You're breathing out depression, stress, worries, doubts, negative thoughts. You're breathing all of that out. This exercise I like to call inhaling love and exhaling fear. So this love and fear, it's all around us in our lives, as is the air that we breathe. So why not use the resources available to us, the air around us, in order to cultivate and elevate our vibes, right? So let's try it one time together, everyone. When we inhale, we're going to inhale love, and exhale, we're going to exhale all the fear in the world. So inhale all the love, the peace, the prosperity, the abundance, the wealth in your life that the universe wants for you. And exhale fear. Exhale everything that you have been afraid of, that you are afraid of. You're no longer afraid of it. You're supported, you're guided, you're protected at all times using love and fear. So every time you get stuck in a pinch, or you're feeling some chest pains, or you're feeling some worry come on, go ahead and take a moment to inhale love and exhale some fear. Moving on to today's episode, I want us to pour a little bit of water and light into love. We gotta add some things in order to grow some more love. Let's cultivate more love. Let's go ahead and start building love today. The first piece that I want us to bring about is understanding that love is the ultimate energy. Love is the first energy. We are pure, unbounded love. Since love is the first energy, that's the first energy we come in contact with. We know love. We know love intimately. We know love on a first and last name basis. When you get to know love, you get to move in love, you get to operate out of love, you get to give love freely, and it comes and goes and it ebbs and it flows without any obstacles in this way, without any blocks, without anything obstructing love from flowing into and out of someone. So this idea of love being us and who we are unbounded vehicles and vessels of love. We're able to love. I happen to think that hate and fear, those are things that are taught. Love is instinctive. Love of yourself, love of others, love of beauty. These loves come about and these are almost instinctive. It's subjective, yeah, but everyone has that ability and that capability of being able to love one another or another person, thing, place, camera, woman, man, TV, car, shit. Love is the ultimate energy, right? When you're moving in love, it's like you're moving with purpose, with passion. You're moving on a mission. We have to understand then and pour some water on the fact that love is an action. Love is a verb. And I've had to do that for myself. And I've had to understand that love isn't just something that you can say. It's something that you do. It's something that you show. You show a person that you love them. You show yourself that you love yourself. You do the things that you love in order to love yourself. Love is an action. Love is very much a doing action. It's a doing emotion. It's a verb. So that means we have to make time to love. We have to make time to spread love. We have to make time to give love to others freely of ourselves. And that's another thing that needs to be touched on. When you're giving love and it's not free and it's not unconditional, this love is conditional, that can't be considered love. It just can't be. Love is not something that you could make transactional, because that'll come back to bite you in the ass. All right, I'm just being very upfront. When we speak of love, some of the things that I want, some of the light that I want to shed on you is to be able to be loved, to be loving, and to be loved. When you're being loved, that means that you're operating in a space that you give love to others freely. There is no disconnection. There is no malice in your heart. It's all pure intentions and pure impact as well. You're sending love to another strictly from the heart. No terms and agreements, no conditions. That is a beautiful thing, and that allows you to be loving as well. When you're loving, that means other people can love you easily. There's nothing holding you back from other people accepting you wholly, accepting you, and then embracing you for who you are. You're love. So being love, operating as if you are love, as if love is coming from within, allows you to be loving to others, to sentient beings, to family, to friends, to complete strangers, and in turn allows them to love you so that you're loved as well. And I speak about this because these are the three basic foundational human qualities that we all need to have. We all need to be able to love, to be loving, and to be loved. This feeling of being loved, that means you're able to give love to another person. That means you're able to allow your love to flow from within you to others. And this idea of being loving is to give kindness, to give compassion, to give care, empathy to others outside of yourself, regardless of any conditions, terms, or agreements, in order for you to be loved, which means that the love that you've sent out comes back right to you. It comes back and it fills you up whole. It comes back, as a matter of fact, tenfold. And it's biblical, man. I'm telling you. When you love someone, the universe, God, they're not going to leave you ass out without any love. They're going to go ahead and pour right back into you tenfold what you poured out of yourself. That's something that I want you to take with you. And the last piece of water and light for today that I want us to understand is that the best kind of love is self-love. Self-love is the best love. The one thing that you can give yourself, no matter what time of day, no matter where you're at in this world, where you're at in your life, is love. Love of self, full acceptance and full embrace of yourself will make your life so much easier. Once you're able to do that, once you're able to go above and beyond to love yourself, you're able to heal yourself, you're able to accept yourself, embrace yourself, and then also develop yourself, progress yourself, be able to elevate yourself. Self-love is the best love. The reason I say that is because love is healing. No matter where love comes from, love is a healing energy. Love is a force field that surrounds you, that protects you, and that guides you. When you're loved, when you feel love, that's a healing energy that comes in, that's able to soothe, that's able to care for you. Healing signifies a return to wholeness. Now, remember, I told you that we're just bodies, we're just vehicles of love waiting to give love, right? We're just vessels of vibrating love within ourselves, skin and bones and love. So this idea of healing through love is returning to wholeness, which is returning as a source of love, going back to sourcing ourselves as being where love comes from. When you return to wholeness through love, that means you just become love. Again, this idea of becoming love, you're just an entire entity, an entire vehicle of love that can easily pour out of you some love in order to give to the universe wherever it may be needed. Love is a healing agent at the end of the day. So that's why I say self-love is the best kind of love, because when you're able to love yourself past your traumas, past your hurts, you're able to heal yourself with its energetic frequencies, raise your vibrations, which raise your energy to higher levels. It's stronger than any other emotion, so it'll get you through every fucking thing. Love is the best soldier. Love can get you through everything because it's the foundations of the universal order. The universal order starts with love and it ends with love. It has to. There is no other way. So when we operate in these mindsets of love, it helps us to be able to become whole again. It helps us to be able to start loving ourselves and in turn love others so that others can love us as well. Now, with every journey and any journey, there's going to be obstacles that come in the way that sometimes are unexpected, are not planned for. They end up growing in places that we've neglected and ignored for so long. And that brings us to the weeds. So in the weeds today, we're going to be dealing with the problems that are facing love in our world, in our climate, in our time and day and age, how we can get about to pulling these weeds out, to start getting ourselves out of the weeds and start stressing about the wrong things, worrying about the wrong things, and focus on just love at the end of the day. The problems facing love today, I feel like, are the Western ideal of love. And this Western ideal of love places every kind of love into one word, which is why I brought about the Greek terminology for the Greek types of love. The Greeks thought out love and flushed out their thoughts of love, that they were able to define it, give it terminology, and separate them by division. So when we place in the Western world, when we place all these ideas of love into one category, we can get them confused. So imagine if we misunderstand love, and the love that we give our parents and our siblings is the same kind of love that we're trying to give a stranger. That's misguided. That shouldn't be. It's not to say that it's wrong. That's just a different connection that's not suited for this kind of connection. It's like trying to screw a screw with a flathead instead of a star screw. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a different tool. You have the right idea, the right inclination. You're in the right area. Could it suffice? Yeah, sure. Will it strip the screw? Maybe. Maybe there's a better tool out there. There's a better vehicle for you to express this love. Because let's say that we start developing this idea of love to the point where it becomes mania. This misunderstanding of love, has perverted our relationship with love. It has perverted our relationships and our friendships as well. Some people in some friendships get too close or get too comfortable with one another, and then they feel these emotions and feelings and they get caught up, right? They've never expressed it. They never had this kind of love expressed. So that's why you see friendships becoming something more, people developing feelings and not being able to fully explain it, right? And I think that's where we're at right now, is that this Western ideal of love has to change. We have to start being able to separate into different categories these kinds of love and who deserves these kinds of loves. What kind of relationships deserve us to show up with these kinds of loves readily available to these relationships? When we misunderstand love, we begin to pervert love. The biggest weed that we face, the biggest problem that we face, is that we've made love conditional. We've made love into this idea of transactional business, right? Where relationships are partnerships. Not to say that there's nothing wrong with that, right? Not to say that sometimes that's not needed, right? To be able to provide this idea of like a 50-50 relationship. And even gender roles too, where like, oh, I bring home the bacon, you take care of the family, or like, I'll pay this bill, you pay that bill. And these ideas get brought into love, and they tend to dirty up the originality, the purity of what love is. When you make love conditional, when you make love transactional, and it's based on business agreements and arrangements, you lose the youthfulness of love. You lose the connection of it. It turns out being something that's abusive, that's exploitative and oppressive, and something that is sought after for the use of others. And that's not something that I'm trying to get in with at all. With love being conditional, it's like handshake kind of love. And I know for a fact I don't like shaking hands with my girlfriend on business things. It doesn't feel natural, and it shouldn't feel natural, right? Because you're trying to make agreements on certain things that should come and flow easily, naturally, freely, flowingly. These ideas of conditional, contractional love are obstacles in our way, are blockades in our way, in our journey to love, to source, returning back to who we once were, which is just pure, unbounded vessels of energy of love. Another weed that we face in our loving times is love being made convenient. Love being made convenient, where you don't have to go out and do anything to acquire love or to give love. It's made convenient and makes you comfortable and complacent in giving out your love. The main area where I see this happening is apps, dating apps. Personally, I'm not a fan of the app game. I'm out of that thing. I do not do apps. That's just me, because I feel like in the swiping of people, of faces, we become so used to this idea of convenient love, of conditional love, right? Where I can swipe where I'm comfortable. I can swipe who I'm comfortable with, who I find attractive, some people will go into this hookup culture of like who I think would be easy to hook up with, or who I think is a fire to hook up with, right? And just looking at someone as a body, as opposed to who they are and what love they have to provide, to give to you as well. And what love can you provide to them, and what love can you give to them? It's very much so conditional and convenient, and that's not something that I'm a fan of. It's made us start to think that we can use others, that we could abuse others and exploit others, and that's a very slippery slope once you're on it. Look out for the areas where your love life has been made convenient, and your life full of love has been made convenient, where you've gotten comfortable, where you've gotten complacent, and begin plucking those weeds out, man. Start making that very inconvenient for yourself, because the less clutter you have in the road, the less clutter and trash and debris you have on your journey, the faster, the easier, the more fully you get to travel to love. You return to love as well. And the last weed that we find ourselves here on is this idea of making yourself lovable versus unlovable. And this is something that we do to ourselves. Whether or not you have a good relationship with yourself is the most important thing. The first thing that we should be discussing, this idea of self-love being the best love, is what we need to be promoting in our communities, in our peoples. This idea of loving yourself, to be able to make yourself lovable. Then there's this person that doesn't make themselves lovable, and that's a problem. That's a problem. If you're trying to love someone and they're doing everything in their power to say that you're not loving them, then you know what, man? I don't think that this is the right thing. I don't think this is something that we should be focusing on. And this is something that it damages our people. It damages us. When you're not able to love yourselves fully and you're unlovable, you're in a very dark space, very negative mentality, very gray skies, gray clouds. Versus when you're lovable, there's beauty all around you. When you're lovable, people see the beauty in you. People see the beauty in how you move, in the ways you move, and where you move, and how you move. These ideas of love come about. There are no blockades within you. Love flows freely out of you. You give love, you pour love into another person so freely, so flowingly, so lovingly, that you're lovable, and it makes it easier for people to love you. So at the end of the day, find out where you're not loving yourself, what areas of yourself you've been neglecting, you've been leaving out to rot. Pour a little bit of love on that. Put a little bit of water and light. Start loving yourselves more, starting today. The last seed I want to plant for us today is the 5 love languages. Now, the 5 love languages are these ideas of how love is spoken to us, how we can speak love to ourselves and to others. And this comes about from the author Gary Chapman in his book, The 5 Love Languages, How to Express Heartfelt Commitment to Your Mate. Now, this is in a loving relationship where these 5 languages come about, but it's very important, I think. It's of the utmost importance for you to understand your love languages and your partner's love languages as well. Your love languages primarily so you can assist other people in helping them love you, and also you can help yourself love you as well. In knowing your love languages, you're able to help your partner love you. In knowing your partner's love languages, you're able to love your partner adequately. And these 5 love languages include physical touch, words of affirmation, quality time, gifts, and acts of service. It's important to take a lot of time into identifying each different kind of love and how they differ from one another, and where those love languages come about within you. When you understand your love languages, you're able to see that I love in this fashion, and you're able to express that to others as well. The 5 love languages include words of affirmation, which are loving words, love that is verbally poured into someone. I love you, or like, you're doing such a great job, or this is fantastic work, or you're so special. These things, right, you're amazing. These are words of affirmation. They provide reassurance verbally. The next, you have physical touch, which is the touching of one another, very intimate touching, right? Skin on skin contact. At our core, that does things to our spirit, to our mind, to our body, that gives us another level of reassurance to let us know that since we're just vessels of vibrating energy, whenever we touch our intimate partner, whenever we touch our mate, we're touching them in a loving manner, and they're receiving that in a loving manner, and they're giving back in a loving manner. The third love language is quality time. The third loving language is quality time, which is spending time with each other in love. So these include dates. These include times together where you spend time with loved ones, family, friends. So quality time is very special, very important. You find that out in dates or just hanging out with your special partner. The intricate times that you spend together, these like meaningful times or like wasted times, even meaningful and meaningless times. At the end of the day, these are quality times together where you get to grow with each other in love. You get to observe each other in love, and you get to be with each other in love. The fourth love language is gifts. Now, gifts are important, of course, because you need to be able to show your love. Love is an action. Love is a verb. And that goes for every love language. With gifts, you're able to have a physical manifestation. Now, the best kinds of gifts are thoughtful gifts. The best kind of gifts say a lot about the person being gifted the gift. And one kind of gift that I implore everyone to start looking into is just because gifts. This idea of getting someone something just because, it's a small, thoughtful gesture that has a world of impact on the person. Let them know that they were thought about, they were cared about, and that they were received, and that they received a gift in return for just being them. It's a beautiful thing to share. And the last kind of love is acts of service. Now, this is an important kind of love because this love language lets us know, again, love is an action, love is a verb. You need to show that you love someone through your actions and through your service. Being able to love someone through your actions and through your service means being of service to someone. It means providing someone something to them. It means providing something to someone that they thought or that they needed. You do this act of service in love and in kindness, and you don't expect anything back. When we move in love, we operate in love, love comes back to us. So understanding these 5 love languages allows for us to be better individuals, better lovers, better partners, better people in relationships, and better people to ourselves at the end of the day. Look into The 5 Love Languages by Gary Chapman. I'll be linking him in the show notes as well. That about wraps it up here for us, everyone, regarding all love. Before we go, why don't we harvest? Why don't we collect our insights? Let's wrap up today's episode by thinking about what we've gained, learned, and what we've achieved. What have we learned? We've learned showing love takes strength. We learned that it is not weak to show love. It is a certain type of strength to be vulnerable, to be okay with being intimate, kind, with being compassionate, caring, receptive, understanding. It takes a certain level of strength, vulnerability, and courage to be all of these things. It takes passion to be loving at the end of the day, because the world is going to throw so much fuck shit our way. For us to be able to say, regardless of what's thrown my way, I still choose to operate in love is an act of rebellion. It's a revolution on our hands. Love is the revolution. I hope y'all know that. What are we taking with this? A couple of things. First things first, we're understanding now that love has a variety of meanings and a variety of words for it. Special shout out to the Greeks who have provided us with the 8 different kinds of love according to the Greeks. Secondly, we've taken with us the 5 love languages by Gary Chapman. I really hope if you haven't read that book that you go ahead and make it a point to read that book, because the 5 love languages breaks it down completely in simple layman's terms, how to love, what love looks like, and these 5 categories of love. And the last thing that we've taken with this is a breathing exercise. I hope every day, every moment that you feel anxiety or depression, or you feel that fear is around you, or that you feel that you're not in a loving space, that you can cultivate love for yourself by learning how to inhale love, peace, prosperity, abundance, success, protection, strength, and then you exhale fear. May you release all negativity, all worry, stresses, doubts, fears from your mind, from your body with this exhalation. What have we gained? Well, we've gained a deeper understanding of the different types of love and what they mean, and how love is all around us, how we are original love, how we are the original bodies and vessels of love. By understanding that learning to love ourselves first is the most selfless thing you can do, right? Because loving yourself first is pouring into your cup first. And I think if 2020 has taught us anything, it's to take care of your damn motherfucking self. First and foremost, be your first priority. And that's what self-care, self-love is you're prioritizing your own needs and wants for yourself. You're taking a time out for yourself in order to be able to love yourself fully, and then in exchange be able to love others fully, be able to love your family, friends, your community fully, and allow others to love you in exchange. That about wraps it up for us here, everyone. Thank you so much again for taking the time to sit with us while we discuss love, being loving, having love all around us, being bodies of love. Please be sure to check out poshfaces.com for your Blueprint Beard Kit. For your 10% discount on your entire purchase, please use our promo code GROWTH. Feel free to check out The 5 Languages by Gary Chapman, and if you're interested, check out the 8 different types of love according to the Greeks. That about wraps it up for me, folks. Thank you so much. Hope to see you guys again next episode. In the meantime, and in between time, keep growing, keep glowing, keep going.